This is Danny with QuadLugs, and this is the build video for the box quad. Pretty unique. This is what we're going to build today. It's the boxes. There's two boxes that the kit is sent to you in, and one of the boxes is used for the body. The other box is an extra that can be used for a body. One box is labeled with our logo. The other box has no label on it, so you can decorate it the way you want to. Or if you're doing a school project or working with students, or you have a learning group that you're working with, this is pretty neat because they can design it the way they want it. They can paint it, put stickers on it, and make it their own, which is kind of neat. So, or if you have a logo for your learning group or a school colors or a logo for the school, you can, or for the program that they're attending, you can put that on that box too, on the blank box. Okay, and so let's take a look inside. Pretty simple inside. You have your KK board and our lug, and you have a place here for the battery, and underneath is where we put the ESC, and we're using a Q brain, and you know by now I use a lot of these because they're just so simple, and especially if you're doing a project, all the ends are put onto the wires. The only thing you have to solder on is your battery connection, so it makes it a real easy build for any kind of program or for yourself. It's just real quick to do. And again, everything that I'm using on this, with with the purchase of a few more lugs and a little bit more basswood, you can make any frame that we have. And the motor and the ESC, and of course the KK board setup, can be used up to like a 480, a 540 won't have a tremendous amount of power, but you can definitely build up to that and fly it well. So it's not just for this, you can use this to move on. So let's get started with it. Okay, and in the box, you're going to find the wood, the basswood, half by half basswood. You're going to find your corners and your two cross pieces, as I call them, reinforcement cross pieces. In the other box, depending on which color you chose, you'll see your, you'll have your KK board, and of course your feet and your motor arm lugs, or I'm sorry, your motor mount lugs. And depending on which color you picked, that'll be the appropriate color. Get started. Here I have the box, and let's go ahead and open it up. We have already marked the holes that you'll need to cut, or the holes that you'll need to cut out, I'm sorry. And so we're going to get busy and cut those out. Okay, we're going to fold the box back together. One reason why I had originally chosen this box to do our shipping in, and all of our boxes are constructed this way, and what makes it really nice and really makes it work with the QuadLugs to make this quad, this box quad, is the sides which everything's going through, is actually 3 layers. So you have, you know, this outside layer, then this folds in and has a layer, then this. And so you really have, you know, three layers on the sides. And the bottom, you actually have 2 layers. When it goes together, you have 2 layers down there. So the front, you'll have 2 layers. Just this one side here is 1. But it makes for a super, super strong box. And that's part of the reason why it works. I kind of tore this a little bit. And so there we are. Now, what we need to do now is we'll grab our motor arm lugs, and if you'll go to the quick build guide series, there's a video on prepping the motor arm lugs. Go take a look at that, and you can get these done. What you'll have is a 1/8 inch hole that you're going to drill here for your landing gear. You're going to have the hole that you have to drill in this area here, and we show you how to do that. Instead of explaining it over again, if you don't mind, just go take a look at that and it'll walk you through it very, very good. So after you get that done, we'll be ready to test fit these. Okay, we got the box put back together and inserted the motor arm lugs just to test them. We have our holes cut. This would be for our wiring going through from the ESC, these items there, or those holes there. So let's get started with this. First of all, like I say this quite often, go to the quick build guide. It'll show you how to prep the motor arm lugs. Get those prepped, then we're ready to go there. It'll also show you how to prep your motor mounts. And all we're gonna do there is with an 1/8 inch bit drill a hole. And you'll see you'll see the dimple right there. And you can, if you get into the middle of that, drill a hole, you're ready to go there. You can do it from the side. I like to do it from the bottom. Again, quick build guide shows you in detail how to do that. Also on the feet, if you want all the screws on one side, we have 1 hole that's put in each one of them. The other side, again, it has a raised area, and that's where the pin, I think that's why it's far, it pushes it out of the mold. Anyway, if you go into the center of that raised area, and when you get this, you'll see it. It's real easy to tell. It perfectly lines up with this one. So you'll have to prep that if you want your screws on one side or the other. On 2 of them, you're gonna have to drill, you know, on of each color, you're gonna have to drill in there. And again, the quick build guide series, take a look at it. It'll show you how to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this ready, and we'll be back and we're gonna start putting it together. Okay, we have all of our pieces prepped, and just do it again as per the quick build guide. And all we did was, you know, drilled our 1/8 inch hole in here, and then we put it on the leg, and this is a 3-inch piece of basswood, and we drilled a 1/16 inch hole and put the 5/8 screw in. On the motor mounts, you know, we did the same. We drilled an 1/8 inch hole, then we put the 5-inch basswood piece in, and we put it flush at the end, and we use a 5/8 screw, 1/16 inch bit, drill a pilot hole, put it on, and or screwed on. And we have all of these drilled out, ready to go. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and put a cross piece, and we want to pay attention to the reference here, the hole here, to have it if we want to have screws, you know, facing outward or inward. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna get a 3/8 inch screw, and we're gonna go ahead and get our 1/16 inch bit. We wanna make sure this is pushed all the way in, and these are 7-inch pieces here of the 1/4 by 1/2. And we're gonna go ahead and drill a little pilot hole there. And I'm gonna use a screwdriver for this. I mean, using the big drill is just, you know, a little bit too much. Even using the small one is kind of too much. When you thread into the reinforced nylon on the motor mount or motor arm lugs, you know, it takes a little bit of effort to make the threads in it, but it does a good job. It holds. So we have that one done. We're gonna go ahead and do the same here. We're gonna go ahead and use this one for the front. We're gonna use this one for the back. And we want our hole to the outside or facing outwards for mounting our landing gear. So we're gonna put it like that. Again, we're gonna put a pilot hole in, and what we're doing is making sure that, you know, this is all the way in. And again, a 3/8 screw. And we'll get that put on. There we go. Now we want this facing the outside, so this one's going to want to be on the back. We'll go ahead and push that through, and we'll, you know, bring it through like that, and we'll, you know, push that back. There we go. And what I'm doing is pushing that back. This is going to be on the outside, so it'll be facing the front. And again, we'll put that through. We'll do the same thing. We'll put it to where, like that. Now on this one, again, we want the screw on the front. And I'm not really guilty of getting these backwards and having to redo it. So I'm, you know, really paying close attention this time around. I am horrible about that. But what you want to do is make sure that this is pushed in here. But we're gonna go ahead and put the arms in first, and then we'll do the same thing here. We'll make sure this is pushed back. So these are 5.5 inch pieces here, and that goes this way. Now it's going to be a little bit long, and I do that on purpose because kind of depending on, you know, how you set it up, it may need to, it's going to have to be trimmed. But I'd rather you do it so you get a nice fit. You don't have to trim it. You can let it overhang. You know, it's totally up to you for sure. So what you want to make sure here is that, you know, a good way to tell if this is working out okay is, let me see here, there we go. To make sure this is squaring up is just, you know, eyeball the gap here and here. I mean, you know, you can measure it if you want. And, you know, that's coming out to about 3/8, I guess, and that's 3/8. So, you know, double check this gap here and this gap here. And if you have them close within, you know, you're kind of squared, you're squared up. And, you know, you want to make sure you're straight this way, but this wood normally takes care of that for you. So at this point, you can, if you want them flush, you can go ahead and put it flush. Go ahead and get you a pencil or whatever and go ahead and mark it. And another check is that you'll see you have about the same amount on either side. So, you know, that's a kind of a double check there. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and take this out, and we're gonna get that cut, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So we'll go ahead and put this in again. pretty flush then. That looks pretty good. And we'll go ahead and put this one in. And we're flush there. And we're flush there. Looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm kind of happy. Excuse me, I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these arms on. And again, a quick build guide will show you, you know, a lot more detail on how to do this. But pretty simple. You want to make sure, you know, this is put on and this is pushed all the way in. Main thing with this, you want to make sure the lugs are always pushed all the way in. So we're gonna go ahead and get the right bit, 1/8 inch bit. We're gonna hold this down solid. This winds up, and it's in a quick build guide again, you know, this winds up being a bit guide through all of this. So we're gonna drill through this wood and this wood, so you wanna make sure that you're lined up, it's where it wants to be, because this is it, you're doing it to it. Okay. So we got our first one done. Get the bit out of there. And again, installing these as per the quick build guide. QuadLugs, they all go together the same. You know, just some of them we use boxes for the body. So, I'm just getting the trash out of there, that's all. Okay, we'll clean the table off. And we're gonna go ahead and put this one on, then, you know, I'm gonna break away and get the rest of them put on and I'll be back. But let's get this on here. Put the nut in the receptor, hold it with your finger. And let's get this on. And we're gonna put these, and actually, you know, I want white in the back, so let me do this. So, good thing about this, you can always, let me go ahead. I'm gonna drill this one by itself, so I'm gonna drill it this way and use it again for the bit guide. There we go. And we'll go ahead and do this. Make sure we have all the trash. We want to make sure these are clean. Okay, so we're gonna have white in the back. I always put color in the front. That's just my preference. I mean, obviously you can do anything you want. So we're gonna run 60 this way and we're gonna run 60 degrees this way. So 15, 30, 45, 60, or if you're going this way, 30 back this way. 15 degree increments on that. Try different angles from time to time. You're gonna find that they react differently when you do change that. And pretty neat on what they do. So let me go ahead and get this and we'll be right back. Okay, got them all installed. Everything went good with that. So now we need to finish up on the inside on our cross piece here. So our reinforcement cross piece. So what we're gonna wind up doing is, you know, pushing these together, make sure they're together. These two cross pieces are gonna bottom out in here, and you know, that'll make sure you have a good tight fit on that. So we wanna make sure that's, you know, pushed together very well, and it is. I mean, if you need somebody to help you and push it together, you know, most certainly do that. or you can stand it on the end and push down. You know, you can do this number and then push. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. If these get in your way, take these off, then you can lean it up on the end like this and push here, and you know, make sure it stays together. This one is staying together. It's not, you know, wanting to pop back on you, so that's good. Sometimes it does, and you know, I have to do that. I'm gonna hold this up, sorry, it makes it easier to screw it in. There we go, that's that one. And let's see how well you can see this one. We'll make sure this one's pushed in, and it is. Again, you can do the same thing with this one, you know, by having someone help you, and you know, to push it together like this, or you can lean it up on the side and do it by yourself. It works okay by yourself. Most of these I put together, not most, every one of them I do by myself, so you learn how to do it. Lean on things to make it work. So, sorry about this. Let me get this screwed in. Okay. So, this is done here. So now we're ready to put our feet on, our landing gear rather. And let me see, again, we want the screws, I want screws on the outside. And I messed this up quite a bit. I have to go back and redo this, because I don't know if I get in a hurry or just don't pay attention. But anyway, let me find the right bit. There we go, 16th inch. And we're going to go ahead and drill a pilot hole again. And we'll put our 5/8 screw in. I tried to do like double the screws that you need, so you know, if you lose any or one strips out or something, you're in good shape. For this, I just grabbed a bunch of screws, and I may not have enough, but you know what? I have some right here. Let me open this up. Okay. Then we'll make sure these are put on the outside, because that's how I choose. Again, you can do it any way you want. And like I was saying earlier, the neat thing about this is, you know, you buy a few more lugs and a little bit of basswood, and you're not going to spend a lot of money, and you can build almost any frame, or you can build every frame we have. You know, you have a lot of the lugs here to, you know, start that, or to get underway with that. So it's not very much more that you need. You know, some 90s, and depending if you're building a tri, you'll need that set up. Or if you're building a V-tail, you'll need that set up. But if you're building quads, you just need, you know, 490s and a little bit of basswood, which you can pick up at your local hobby shop. You can buy it from us. Or if you have a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby, you can pick it up there too. Your craft stores normally have that also, believe it or not. Just make sure it's straight, and you know, it'll do you good. So that's it. I mean, it's done. What we'll do next is we'll have another video out, and we'll put the Velcro in here is all you were gonna do, and put the KK board holder here, and it's gonna go here. We'll put some more Velcro in this area, and that's gonna be for our battery. Our wires from our ESC, you can see, is gonna come up here and come up here, and they're gonna go to the motors. And then here is gonna be your battery hookup here to your ESC, and this is going to be your control wires that's going to come through this area from your ESC. And then your ESC is going to mount on a piece of Velcro right here, and you know, you're done. You're ready to go flying. Put some motors on, you're ready to do it. Anyway, that's the frame. I really appreciate you watching, and try this one out. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. It's absolutely great. Change these angles up to, you know, 45 and 45, and it flies a little bit different than it will now. Anyway, this is Danny with QuadLugs, and it's been a lot of fun bringing you this build video. And try it out. I think you'll like it.